So I don't have an introduction for these podcasts. I'm still very indecisive when it comes to these things after a month of doing this. But I go by Tony Awdball. This is an odd conversation with a very special guest.
Dope. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I'm Kiddo. What's up?
Shit, man. And before I ask some of the basic questions to get those out the way, I actually known you for a couple years, not in person, but I've heard of your name. One of my homegirls, Nessa, she told me about your music years and years ago. So it was pretty funny.
Really crazy.
Yeah. And so
Trip, man.
yeah, it was a trip to know that you're with all the East of the River people as well. So I was like, oh, okay, this is actually kind of interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you've known Zay for a while, right?
Yeah, I know Zay probably just as long as I know Nessa. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay. Dang, that's crazy. Well, thanks so much for digging the music and
oh yeah, of course.
Following for all this time, because that's really means everything, dude.
All good, no worries. So I tried looking for interviews up on you. I think I found one that was maybe a couple years ago. So I'm gonna ask some basic questions to get those out the way, so everyone can have a broad knowledge of what you are and what you're about. And so where are you from, and how long have you been making music for?
I am originally from Whittier, California, so I represent the 562. And I've been music, recording and performing. I kind of consider that officially when I started making music for real, probably about 5 years now.
Okay.
But I had been writing already for at least 10 years, so I've been writing for a really long time, but actually performing and recording and putting out music, it's been about 5 now, so it's been a fun journey.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was almost I know Max wasn't from the Whittier area to begin with, but is the majority of you from Whittier?
I am. Hollow Vision, and then Max I think was kind of bouncing around the area, but he lived over there for a while too, and I think even Zay might have been around that area for a bit.
Okay.
I was born there, so I was pretty much there my entire life until I started making music about 5 years ago, and then I moved to the East LA area, and I've been pretty much there ever since. So.
All right, for sure. What part of Whittier were you from? I lived right there on Norwalk and Slauson for a couple years.
Oh really? Yeah. I live South Whittier. If you're familiar with the area, kind of off Telegraph, Carmenita.
Okay, yeah.
Santa Fe Springs, that area.
Yeah. So I've been around the area for a good couple years, maybe since my freshman year. I've been La Mirada and Whittier. So.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
What school did you go to? If you don't mind me asking?
I went to La Mirada, then El Camino.
Okay, yeah, we're neighboring La Mirada too. So.
Yeah, basically. So.
It's La Mirada Boulevard.
Yeah, so the hot box is the little meetup point between the two cities and stuff.
Yeah. dope. So we're neighbors.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, but shit, after you're in the music scene for a while and you kind of get to know people, you realize how small of a world it is. So it works.
Definitely, yeah. Which is crazy because I didn't really know a lot of artists who were making music when I started making music at the time. I knew there was rappers around, but I wasn't really connected with a lot of artists from Whittier until after I decided to get my music out, kind of get on the scene, and then I started meeting a lot more artists from Whittier. So it's pretty crazy, small world for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's a trip too, because then sometimes after a while you'll be oh, you've been here this whole time. Literally everybody from the EOTR. It's oh, you actually weren't far away. I thought you were in a deep part of Southeast LA, but
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, we're all kind of from different areas and kind of just, I don't know, I guess met up there. Of course, I don't know, I'm sure you're familiar with Viva Mezcal, who's the CEO of East of the River, and he's Boyle Heights raised, so it's it all started there, the ideas started there, and we all kind of just came together and became a family there, so we all kind of rep it in a way. I feel I've been adopted by East LA in a sense.
Well, how was your introduction to the into the group? You had to get initiated. You had to get battle everybody in the group.
If it was that easy, I don't even know. It was kind of an interesting transition because I had just started making music. I only had a couple of tracks made and out on SoundCloud when I first met Mad Max, who was the first person that I met from East of the River, and I met him through an engineer friend of mine who was recording me at the time, and he was only recording like bands and stuff around that time. He only had a couple of rappers he was working with, which was me and Mad Max, Hollow, and Mescal. And he was like, yo, I know these dudes are really dope from East LA, and he sent me all their stuff, and I guess he showed them some of my music, and through that, we're kind of like, oh shit, like, I remember hearing Mad Max and Hollow on the same track, and I was like, damn, these dudes are dope, like, how do I get in connect with them? So I added them all on social media networks, all of that stuff. It was around the time where I was just coming out, like, just putting out my first tracks. And I think it was Mad Max who was just like, yo, I heard your stuff, like, you're really dope, we should work. I was like, for sure, let's work. Like, these dudes are actually, like, super impressive. So, I mean, through there, we just started clicking. Like, we just were writing together, meeting each other at the studio and stuff, and just kind of, like, became family pretty much. And I want to say I wasn't even officially east of the river until, like, maybe a year into it, because I was kicking it with them. I was doing shows with them. They actually helped me put on my first show, like, put me on for the first time, you know, so I was kind of in the clique, but not in the clique until 2016, I believe, when we went to Portland, Oregon, which was my first time ever performing out of state, and I think Mescal wasn't able to go, Mad Max was going to go, and he was like, yo, you want to go, like, rep east of the river? And I was like, oh shit, like, am I east of the river now, kind of thing? And ever since then, it was kind of, I feel like that kind of made it official, you know, we started all making music together, and I just stuck with them.
Dang, that's sweet, man. You know, like, how many years ago was that?
Probably about 4 years, I think. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you guys are old.
It was like late 2015, I guess, when I met them and was putting out my first track. So the next year, yeah. So I mean, it's been about 4 years that I've been with them consistently. So I mean, that's been a blessing, man. I mean, if you know anything about them, they're just a powerhouse of like amazing artists and just so dope. So
yeah, man. Really I'm not even gonna front, dude. Like I'm like semi jealous of your guys' like collective that you guys have, just because like everybody bigs each other up. There's like no I'm the star of the group. You know, like everyone gives credit when it's due, and everybody in the group. And so you know, I've always liked that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I remember. All right, well, ironically, Mad Max's interview went out today. You know, finally went up on YouTube. I fucked the video up where I just lost it. I don't know what happened. So you know, I hate to even state that out loud, but yeah. So yeah, but he was cool enough to let it up. But we are getting that in person one. That's gonna be dope. And but on top of that though, like he had like high remarks for everybody, and like always give people their shine. And so you guys pick each other up. So that's I think that's what's important for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is, and I know it's like pretty difficult for a lot of people just to work in groups because there's so many like different personalities, and you know, and it does get kind of crazy sometimes. Like I feel like there is in a way like a little bit of a pecking order, you know, but I feel like we all understand like our individual like levels and where we're at with the music and what we're working on at the time. And of course, like we're all friends, you know, we become family. So it's like when one of us is doing something big, the rest of us are kind of like, all right, like let's help push that and get the same thing in return when it's our turn, you know. So I mean, sometimes it's crazy, like we got to be a little patient with the projects or whatever, but it's dope to have that, you know, to have that support group like always there ready to push your stuff, like, you know. It's very rare, you know.
No, absolutely, and then especially like you know, being SoCal, like a SoCal group, you got to make your numbers. So that's one thing I salute you guys for as well, for sure.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No worries. So I'm gonna quote one of your songs that you had. You know, like I'm pretty sure you might have gotten like you know, people might have brought the song to your attention a lot more. But you know, it's definitely one of my favorite first lines, and I've always liked these type of intros for music, where it's like, first off, fuck anyone who judged me off my sex. You know, like just simple like this, just simple words like that, just really like, you know, it's a real smack into your face. You know.
Yeah, man. I definitely felt that when I was writing that song, and which is funny because that was around the same time that I was kind of like in that transition phase, and of course there was like a period where I was just surrounded by dudes, and I'm like the girl, and like there was a lot of shit going on, and sometimes it felt unfair. Like it was tough at the beginning. So I remember writing that song, and I was like, anybody who's fucking hating on me, anybody who's trying to tell me like, boom, like let me hit them with that first line. So yeah, definitely a favorite, dude. So I'm really glad you appreciated that, dude.
Seriously.
That's a big one for me. Like the way I start and end my verses is always like the main issue.
Yeah, no, big time. Yeah, I mean, like that's why, like, if you have like a strong like introduction to a song, then it's like okay, how can you like not hit next? I mean, like how can you like hit next after that? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like even like the Flatbush Zombies. I think it was like Death 2 where he has like, I crack your fucking skull and turn it as a bowl of cereal. I'm so cereal, and it's like, fuck, like how else are you gonna like like skip that one? You have to stay right there. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. So I'm gonna fuck the name up right now, but I know you had you, Zay, and then there was a third person in the group. You guys have like a Brujas type.
Irie. Yeah, Sister Irie.
Sister
So
Ivory.
she's been in the game for a long time. She was like Project Beloved Alumna and everything, so she's been around. But we connected about 2 years ago, all three of us, because I had known Zay and I had known Irie separately for a bit, but we weren't like super close yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just doing shows around, doing the same shows with each other. We were always kind of around the same cliques. So eventually, I don't even know how it came about. We were just like, hey, we should meet up to write. We met up to write, and that day it was like, fam, like right away, the vibes were just totally right. We wrote a whole song that day. That's the first day we met. We actually came up with the group BruxasBrew. We were like, fuck it, let's just do a whole project. Let's just be a group. Like we vibed so well. So yeah, we got some new stuff coming too, like this summer, which I'm really, really pumped for. So that's like a whole like another thing too, like separate from Kiddo, which I'm glad because they've kind of helped me evolve in my sound in a way. I feel like the music that I'm working on with them is a lot different than my personal like music, which is awesome because just the whole dynamic is fresh and new, exciting.
Yeah, I know for sure. I know it's pretty crazy. I mean, like I've always liked those like small collectives, like even the third person group with Don't Sleep,
Yeah.
Rock'em, Max. It's like, it's like your own spin-off series, but like it's still like keeping it like loyal to the soil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
They're all like EOTR family, no matter what.
For sure. And like how important is it to kind of push like the it's not like pushing the woman agenda, but like to make sure that like like you have to have females have to be taken a lot more serious now, especially with that line that I brought up a while ago, like Bruja Bruce, and it's like it's always something that like it's keeping the woman power right there, but it's also like making it known that like we're not here just because we're pretty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Which that's what I love so much about it is that like we're in a time that's very pivotal for like Hispanic people of color, and women all in one. So it's just a crazy time in general in the world. So us being all of those things and having this like collective with each other and being able to empower each other through that and empower other people, it's just been awesome because it's not like our music is not really just like focused on women either. It's like we're talking about all types of stuff, life. And I mean, BruxasBrew itself, it's like we're going back to our culture too, like our culture of our native culture, Hispanic culture, and spirituality, and all of these things that are kind of like, I don't know, like are kind of new to society, I guess, in a way. Like there's a lot of controversial things when it comes to that. So I like that we're able to just express ourselves in like a totally new way. And I know that there's people who are like kind of not gonna fuck with it, and people who really are. And so far, like we've gotten a really good buzz. So
yeah,
I'm excited. It's really empowering. It really is. Like I feel like this is the time for that. You know what I mean?
Oh, big time. Let's get a little controversial and let's talk spirituality real quick. Where's your mind at on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much like where we're coming from, at least with that. I think all of us as individuals have always been kind of spiritual. I mean, my personal journey it's been a little shaky. Like I'm not necessarily religious, but I do believe in energy. I believe in like exchanges and manifesting and, just like taking control of your own power, right? Because I mean, I really feel like we all have that. Like we can all make anything happen.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where we're coming from, is just sharing our points of view on that. And also like honoring our cultures. Like I said, like our mothers and grandmothers had their own like spiritual practices that nowadays are looked at as like, oh, that's witchcraft, or that's like super crazy, like what are you guys doing, you know what I mean? But in a way, it's like these are things that always helped people heal in some type of way, and we're kind of trying to incorporate that in our music and just spread them healing vibes through hip-hop too, So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure, man. Yeah, I like that stuff, man. I love it so much. So I did this thing on the show that I started doing, and just to get a little creative with it, see where people's minds go with it. But let's say this whole quarantine lockdown gets extended out for the rest of the year. We already got 3 months added to our shit, so the rest of the year. And so, and for some reason the Wi-Fi fucks up, and now we're only left with streaming platforms that can give us 3 options to listen to, whether they're bands, artists, whatever. But I'm gonna make it a little interesting. And so, but if you pick an artist, that includes like features, productions, songwriting, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I mean, I want to see how creative you get with these answers. So you have 3 options. Who are you rocking with for the rest of the year?
Right. So for the rest of the year, right? So it's only this year?
Yeah, just the rest of this year.
Who am I rocking with? I want to say my own clique, but I'm gonna say Mad Max, Zay, and Irie right now.
Damn.
Because that would keep me. I mean, those are my main peeps. Like some of my main peeps. Obviously, I have a big collective too, but they are those people that like keep me hungry, keep me wanting to work, keep me wanting to create. And I mean, like obviously, Mad Max from the jump, like was a person who was always like, yo, like keep on doing it, like go future, you're talented, you got it, So, and on top of that, their music is really good. Like I could literally bump each of them like individually and genuinely enjoy what I'm listening to. So it's dope to have both of them, So I mean, I'm gonna say that.
All right, that's sweet. That's sweet. I can't get mad at that question, not at all. I mean, on top of that, like you also have like other options to listen. Like because of them, you can also hear like a little bit of Vel inside the production. I mean, not production, but like the features. You also got like, Don't Sleep. Like you have like a wide select of definitely the general area, but it's cool. You guys are always dope with that stuff for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, so what kind of like music, like hip hop specifically, really got you into like the whole like culture of it? And like who were you listening to then, and then like up to like nowadays?
Yeah, for me it started with, I guess, if you look at my Instagram, I put Gangster Rap Baby Do It, because I feel like that's kind of where I started, even before I even considered being a rapper. My dad was a young dad. I'm the firstborn, and he was super into gangster rap and Eazy-E and Ice Cube, West Side Connection, like all that stuff, Slim Shady, Snoop Dogg. So I grew up on that stuff, and that was like my first taste of the culture itself and like what it was, even though I didn't always understand like the music or what they were talking about, like just the vibes that I got from that were always just so like empowering. So I would bump that constantly. And then of course like the Biggies and Tupacs and all that stuff came later on, G-Unit.
Yeah.
2000s. But it wasn't until maybe like 2008 or 9 that I started discovering underground hip hop, like Atmosphere, Brother Ali, The Rhymesayers, Jedi Mind Tricks, like even Wu-Tang Clan and all that other stuff,
Yeah.
So I started getting deeper into it. Tribe Called Quest, Erykah Badu, like everything, just going back into the roots. And like I really became like a hip hop head. And that's really where I fell in love with like lyricism, was listening to these underground artists. And it wasn't just like party shit, and it wasn't just like gangster rap. It was like real life being spoken into their words, So it was pretty crazy, and it was inspiring. And I just went through like a whole like few years just like listening to everything that I possibly could. I also was obsessed with like hip hop dancing. I was in like a dance crew in high school. I used to I used to kind of like pop rock and stuff, like freestyle in a way, like just dancing. And that was before I started rapping. So it was like I kind of had those little elements before I actually became like an MC. So I mean, all of that stuff kind of led me to where I'm at now, which is pretty dope. And I mean, it took me a little while to get into like newer music, to be honest, because I was such like a 90s head, like I was going back and listening to Rakim and Eric B and all this other stuff. So now I'm definitely appreciating like the new hip hop a lot more, so Kendrick and TDE and all that stuff I'm super inspired by right now also. But man, I feel like I've had all spectrums of hip hop so far.
No, absolutely. Yeah, and I started off the same way. Like I remember being like 3 or 4 years old. I'd say this in a couple of interviews, but like Gangsta Nation by West Side Connection was the very first hip hop song I've ever heard. And it was like hard not to like get it stuck in your head with the chorus, you know what I'm saying? And so and like as a little kid, like hearing like like the vulgarity in it, you're like, whoa, like what the fuck is this? You know, it's funny. But
Yeah, which is funny because I think I was 5 years old when my dad reminded me about this. He had sent me a text, and it was Just Clowned by West Side Connection, I think. And he was like outside, like watering the lawn or washing the car or something, and he had the stereo on. And that song came on by West Side Connection, and I was like 5 years old, and he was like, that's the first song that you ever chose by yourself. Like, you went and you heard it, you bumped it all the way up, and I walked in and I caught you dancing all alone by yourself. And like, I remember him catching me, and I was like, oh, like all embarrassed, like, what's going on? But you know, it's just crazy how that's always stuck with me, you know. So
no, absolutely.
Similar roots, man.
Definitely, man. And like for like a father like yours, I'm pretty sure that was like a big milestone for him. Like, whoa, like it's already happening. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, crazy, man.
So I mean, like, so tell me right now, like, is like not dancing, but like the interactions that you make on stage make a difference in your performance?
I think so. Honestly, I do, because I was always extremely shy, like extremely shy. I was shy to speak in front of my class, even go to the grocery store and ask like cashiers for stuff, like super shy. But I loved art and I loved dancing, and that was my first taste of like being on a stage and like competing and like losing, I guess, that fear. Because I mean, I stayed shy through all of that, but it was like there was something that when I got on the stage, and even if it was just dance, it all like disappeared, and I was able to like completely be myself and have like a lot of fun with it. And when I started making music or writing music and like thinking about performing, I was like, you know what, like if I can dance and get on stage and have fun and let loose and not be afraid, like I can get up and MC, right? Like, yeah, that's kind of like where it started, and where I kind of started losing my fear a little bit, and you know, just kind of going for it.
For sure. I mean, do you have like any memorable performances that you had in the past, or like whether it's on stage or before and after the show? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the main one would be in high school. I was in like this dance crew / dance competition called Hijinks, and we all had like our little collectives, and we all had to choreograph and learn a specific routine, and we all would all compete at the end. And that was like weeks and weeks and weeks of like practicing. And I remember just feeling like, dang, like my group is so good. Like, this is it. Like, I'm glad I'm getting to do this, you know? So I was super terrified, but we ended up winning the entire competition, got to sweepstakes. Like, it was really, really dope. Our thing was shared on YouTube. The next day we went to school, and like we performed it again for everybody, like in the middle of the quad, and it was really, really dope, you know what I mean? And that was one of those moments where it's like I had a group, and I was able to really like connect with them and lose my fear on stage, and like really felt like, yeah, like I did that.
No, for sure.
And it was dope, and it was like, you know, it was hip hop, but it was before I even like considered getting on stage to be an MC, and I really do feel like it's helped me, you know.
Absolutely. And so, how about as kiddo? And like in your career?
As kiddo?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, it's been quite a journey in that sense, because I mean, it was something that I just wanted so bad that I was like, yo, like I know I'm shy, you know, I'm this way, I'm that way, I get anxiety around, you know, being in front of people or whatever. But if I want to do this and I know I have it, like, you know, something in me was always like, I know I have the talent, I have shit to say. So all I gotta do is like break through that little fear and just go for it, you know? Mm-hmm. So I remember my very first show, it was a homie called Mike Real. He was working with East to the River at the time, and he was like, yo, like I saw your video, because I had put out like one video at the time, like a contest of me doing a 16. And he was like, I saw that, like, you're really dope. I'm throwing together an all-female show. Like, would you be down to perform? Like, we want you to perform. And at the time, I only had, like, 3 songs. And I was like, wait. I was like, I don't have a lot of music. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, well, it's only 15 minutes. Like, I'll give you a 15-minute set. Like, if you can pull that together, like, let me know. And I was like, damn. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Let's see. But I really want it, you know? So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do it. I have 3 songs. I'm going to just pull a 15-minute set out of somewhere, and I'm just going to face the fear and do it. Which is funny that we were talking about West Side Connection, because I didn't have enough music for a 15-minute set, but I was like, fuck it, I got a lot of verses. I'm just going to put some stuff together, use some instrumentals that are, like, popular. And the first song that I came out with on stage, I used the instrumental to Bow Down by Ice
Mm.
And I was like, a lot of people know this song, so I'm gonna use this instrumental, and it's gonna get someone's attention. And like, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And thankfully, it worked. And it was like, even though I was nervous, I came out with that beat, and I came out with my song on that instrumental, and just the crowd was like fucking with it hard. Like, everybody was just like, you know. So I was super shy. I was super quiet, like standing in one place, like. I think I might have like stumbled on some words or whatever, but the crowd was really, really messing with it. Like, I felt what it was like to have a crowd of my own and like put that together. And it took me a while to like really gain my confidence, but like seeing that I had that spark already just kind of made it easier for me to just keep going and like keep at it.
No, yeah, for sure.
It's crazy.
No, hell yeah. I know. Like, did you end up going to Europe with everybody?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So I've gone twice now, thankfully. So we went in 2018, and then we went again last year, which was completely life-changing. Like, I had no idea what I was in for, but we made a lot of beautiful connections, and it was all like out of pocket. Like, we paid for everything. It was completely like our own, you know, we decided to take ourselves there, not knowing like what we were going to get out of it. But I mean, it was a really great experience. Like I said, we made some great connections, and this time that we went, 2019, was pretty amazing because we went to like 3 different countries, and we got to perform in each one. And it was like in each country, there was a show like in Paris that we didn't even plan. Like, our homies were at a bar, and they were like, "Oh, you guys are rappers? You guys want to perform here tonight?" And our homies were like, "Yeah, we have a whole crew. Let's go." We go, and the shit was packed. Like, it felt like we were home again. Like, we were able to pack out a whole venue in a place that we had never even been to before, and still have people following us from those areas, you know. So learned a lot, for sure. Learned a lot. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I would, I guess, do different, but I can't wait to like get back out there and be able to do that again.
Yeah,
just share my music with the world, you know.
For sure. And then, like, I never asked anybody else this question yet, but like, was it like kind of difficult with the whole language barrier out there?
With the what? With
the language barrier, like the translation and stuff.
Yeah, in a way, like, to get from A to B, you know, and talking to the locals. Luckily, everybody speaks like 1 or 2 or even 3 languages out there. So it's like most people still speak English, even though it's broken and stuff. So they're still able to like communicate with us and stuff. And with the music, it like didn't even matter, which is crazy because we can go to a place where there was all these different languages, and some people didn't even speak English, but they were like still fucking with the music, even though they couldn't understand it. And it was the same for us. Like, we would go out there and hear people rapping in Dutch, and we were just like, damn, this is dope. Like, I don't know what he's saying, but this is dope, you know. So it's really sick. Met people from Italy, from the Netherlands, like. It was crazy. So, I mean, yes, it was kind of like strange, especially us coming from Los Angeles, and we're all dressed in big old sweaters, all black. Like, people hadn't even seen what like Mexicans look like. So it was pretty crazy. Like, to see, just, it was a culture shock in a way. But through the music, we met a lot of genuine people, and it really showed me like, damn, there's really no barriers when it comes to like creativity. Like, if it's genuine, people are gonna feel it no matter what language it's in. So that was a huge like life changer for me.
For sure. Well, what out of the European area? Not areas. European what countries? Yeah, just countries. Because like there's like so many different countries in that one spot in Europe that over here in America is like state. So it's like, you know, I kind of get confused sometimes. But what country are you looking forward to visiting? For, you know, most of all.
I would love to go back to Barcelona. We only spent like maybe 48 hours there at most. So that was really cool. We got to perform in like a dispensary over there, and people were messing with it too. But I really would like to go back there again because I mean, we speak Spanish too, and that was like the one place where we could actually like communicate with more people. But thankfully, yeah, it was really dope, and I really want to go there again. We've been talking about going to Australia. We have homies in the UK area, so we've been probably gonna be heading to like Birmingham hopefully soon. And yeah, man, we're just trying to get to as many places as possible at this point. You know what I mean? So Europe is a big one.
Dang. All right, for sure. Damn. Well, I do know that someone did share like your EOTR cipher back in like 2017 or so, somewhere around there. And you know, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. You know, like when it comes to ciphers, let's just say the whole EOTR is there. You know, like who, aside from yourself, who do you think is gonna be going the hardest? Like every time.
The hardest.
Yeah.
The hardest, I'm gonna say Mad Max. Mad Max or Mezcal, but Mad Max for sure is one of those like MCs who, like, no matter what, will always fuck it up. Doesn't even need to be a cipher. Like, I mean, this fool could just rap for like hours on end, like without like stopping. It's insane. It's really insane, and like everything that comes out of his mouth is totally like intellectual, and it's all really dope. So I'm gonna say Mad Max for sure. Even though everybody in the collective is really on point with their shit, like, I know he's been in the game and it has been rapping for like over 10 years. It's like a second language to him. So it's like, for sure, I'm gonna go with that one.
For sure. Dang. All right. Cool. All right. And you know, I like some of the three videos, not videos, but songs that turned into music videos. I really liked a lot. You know, it's like Win or Lose, Pendulum, and then Voices. You know, like I've always like liked those songs, and specifically, you know, besides like Buy In, but it's like, you know, I kind of just, you know, want to get like your insight when it comes to like, you know, picking what songs to use for a music video and how it is to like really like put it all together at the end of it.
Yeah, honestly, for like my first project, a lot of them were a little more difficult for me to like imagine videos for, because I feel like I did a lot of storytelling in my first project, and a lot of those songs were like very in-depth stories. And so when I thought about doing videos for them, I was kind of like, dang, but what if it changes the way that like someone is like imagining a video, or like how the story in their head, you know what I mean? So like, could I portray the story the same way visually as I did with the words? And like, do I even want to cross that boundary, or do I want to leave it to the listener to just like have their own story in their head, you know what I mean? So that was kind of crazy for me. But I think I kind of go more on just the ones that like everybody vibes with more often, and just the ones that I'm noticing have a lot of buzz, or like my friends talk about the most. Those have always been like the easiest ones to pick. Obviously, I feel like I would want to do videos for like all of them, but yeah, for sure. It's usually just like, if it feels right, like this is the one everyone's fucking with right now. Like These Things was a huge one that I was like, I need to have visuals for this. Like, this is the song everyone always asks me for, so I know people are gonna want to see like visual for it. You know what I mean? So still working on that. To be honest, I'm kind of I'm trying to get a little more in depth with my videos, and just like co-directing a little more often, and trying to write my own screenplays and stuff like that. Treatments, all of that stuff. So yeah.
That would be pretty cool. That'd be cool. So when it comes to like writing music, is there like some kind of ritual you kind of do before, you know, getting in there and, you know, figure out what you're gonna talk about on any kind of record?
As far as rituals go, I mean, I usually like smoke herb, but I definitely have learned a lot more about my process during this quarantine. Because although I was always kind of private with my stuff, and a big thing for me has always been like, it's a lot easier when I have my own like solitude, my own space, to be able to just like dive into my zone and not have any distractions. And that's like the place where I feel, you know, whether I have my snacks or my beats bumping, or like herb or a drink or whatever, like me being in my own space and being able to just completely go in my zone without any distractions. Because it was kind of hard for me to do that at first, and like being with a collective like East of the River, it came to a point where it's like, oh, let's work on a track right now, like write some shit right now, finish it, get in the booth right now and do it. And that was always kind of weird for me, because I was like, wait, like I want to, you know, like let me go over my stuff, let me like spend some time with the beat, let me like perform, I mean, rehearse it, like get really good. But not, sometimes it's just like, write this right now, write this, you know, no matter who's in the room type of thing. But for me, it's definitely easier when I get to just have my own space and just really, really focus on that one like piece of work that I'm writing. And as for like, I guess subjects, or like when it comes to like what I'm gonna write about, kind of just flows out, you know, naturally in a way. Every now and then there are like a couple of subjects that I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep that in mind, that I want to write about that later. And if I'm in the mood to write about that specific thing, I'll kind of go into it. But sometimes I'm just like, depends on the instrumental, I'll just be in there and I'll turn on the instrumental, and whatever I feel in that moment is like what the song becomes. But I'm really focusing on going back and telling my story right now. So kind of just like writing about more personal things, or things from the past, or kind of just telling the story of how I went from just being like this normal girl to like an MC, you know, and like following my dreams. And yeah, so that's definitely definitely something I'm gonna be touching on in my music a lot more.
Okay, for sure. So, yeah, I have a couple more questions before we dip out of here, and I'm gonna do like a little appreciation, for Big Boy and Big Boy's Neighborhood. Ask a question that he
Okay.
used to, or maybe he does still. I don't know yet, but let's say you're on a raft. Okay, you're on a raft, middle of the
Yeah.
ocean. You only have room for one more person onto the raft. You have Zay
Right.
in one hand, and you have Irie in the other. You can only bring one of
Oh
them up on
no!
there.
Oh man!
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that's not fair.
Yep, I'm putting you on the blast. Like I put Zay on blast in her interview, so you'll see that
Damn,
in
so
like
I
about
gotta
2 or 3 weeks.
pick one of them. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta pick one of them.
Yep.
That's fucked up. They're gonna hear this and be like, "Damn." I gotta pick one. Honestly, damn. I don't know, man. They both. Can I pass on this question? This is a tough question.
Shit, you might as well throw yourself in the water
I
then.
might just jump in the water. And be like, nah, let's all just swim or drown or let's. I don't know if I can be with just one of them without the other one, man. It's so tough.
Yeah.
I'll just jump. I'm gonna just jump.
All right, for sure. I'm gonna let you slide with that one. Ain't no one else getting that slide for sure. But like that's a good one right there. I just thought of it at the moment. So let's just say the year is 2025. Okay, where do you see yourself then?
2025, I definitely see myself touring
Mm-hmm.
and back in other countries performing. I definitely want to have several albums out, a lot more music videos out, like a whole merch line. I'm planning on having like a website and everything like way before then, but I really do just want to be like a lot more consistent with the music by then. Like I really want to be able to just like have control and have a hold on like where I'm trying to take it. And I guess one of the things, like main things, is just traveling with it and being able to just create those opportunities.
Yeah.
And have tours and just keep on doing it.
Okay.
And just to be better than I am right now, man. Like, and if I can make some money on the way, that'd be amazing.
So like, do you have any like dream collaborations in mind right now that you would like to work with, whether it's production or rappers?
Yeah, one of the biggest ones I think right now is Evidence. Whether it's like a verse or like instrumental, I would probably say more like his beats. Like I would love to be able to rock on some F beats. That's a dream of mine. Another dream would probably be working with Primo, DJ Premier. Like that's a huge one. But yeah, those are like one of the mains right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. Those are some like real like hardcore like hip hop head like answers right there for sure.
Yeah, man, it's really dope. So for sure.
For sure. And then another thing I do on the show is sometimes I'll be like on the road to do something, whether it's like for a road trip, like a first date, something for the gym. Like I want to listen to music that surrounds that and such, And like one thing I'm gonna put, I want you to add to my playlist, which is like for a road trip. Like what song would you play for a road trip? Yeah, anywhere you go.
For a road trip, anywhere I go, the first one that came to mind was Spodioti Dopalicious by Outkast. I don't know if you're familiar with that one off of Clemenai, the Clemenai album. That is one that I'm like, anytime, any place, it just sets the mood. Like, it's a good vibe for when you're happy, you could be sad. Like, it's dope. That's definitely one that I'm like for sure gonna add on there.
All right, for sure. Damn. Yeah, that's another thing too, man. I've always loved like Andre in general. Like his verses are always like unique and very unorthodox, and everyone praises Aquemini, and so it's like, dang, like I don't know why I never really like got around to listen to it. It just doesn't come to mind.
Yeah, dude, you should. You for sure should. Because, I mean, I think it was kind of the same thing for me for a bit. Like, it took me a while to actually dive into their albums. But once I did, I was like, oh, this is why everybody, like, is talking about them all the time. Like, I had the opportunity to go to Atlanta a couple years ago. And when I was there, I was like, oh, shit, I'm, like, in the home of, like, where that birthed. And it was crazy. We actually got an opportunity to record a track with our homie from the UK in the studio where Clemenai was recorded. And that, for me, I was like, oh, shit, like, I need to pay some homage. Like, this is amazing. So, definitely recommend that entire album, though. But that song in particular is, like, an all-time favorite.
Okay, for sure. Damn. So yeah, two more questions and we dip out of here. And I kind of want to like get into like when it comes to releasing any kind of music, like how do you battle, like overthinking or like any other insecurity that comes with it, like anxiety or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually kind of dealing with that a little bit at the moment because I have a single and video that I'm gonna drop, which is actually like when I went back and thought about it, probably my first solo kiddo single that I've dropped since Escapism, which is my first like project. So I've kind of been like, dang, like it's caused a little bit of stress for me. Like, what are people gonna think? Like, how am I gonna roll this out? How am I gonna like execute this perfectly? I think that's always the main thing for me is like the execution part of it. But once I actually listen to like what I've created and I hear the finished product, and as long as I have that feeling of like, all right, this is me, like someone can hear this, someone's gonna benefit from it, I'm fucking with it, because I'm very critical about my work. And it's like, even though there are some songs that I'm like, all right, I'm dope on that, but I don't want anyone to hear it. Like, So when I hear the finished product and I'm like, all right, like it hits me in the heart. Do I still get that feeling? Like, that's the time where I'm kind of like, all right, let's just let it go. You know what I mean? So that was kind of the case with this track where I'm like, I did a lot of overthinking about it, held on to it for such a long time, and I'm like, you know what? Like, this is the vibe. This is the one. Like, I gotta just let it go. And once it's out in the world, it's out in the world, and it belongs to everybody else, So I guess that's like the most, nerve-wracking part. But once it's out, it's the greatest feeling.
Yeah, for sure. And then Kiddo, like I have another question, but like Kiddo, where did that name come from? I tried searching more information up as I could. I found most of the music through YouTube, but I tried looking on Spotify and SoundCloud. It took me a minute to find out like how to like find your music on there. You have like Kiddo Marv, you have like all the different type of Kiddo names. So it's like like, so how did you even come up with a name in the first place?
Yeah, which is it's kind of messed up. You can find me at KIDDO EOTR because there's a bunch of other kiddos in the world, unfortunately. But when I came up with the name, so you have no guesses on where I could have gotten this name from?
I just try not to answer them.
It's a character. And I kind of specifically didn't like talk about this too much in like interviews or like really didn't like write it out in bios or anything because I was like, I wonder if people are gonna get it, and a lot of people don't. But when I first was coming out with the music, I was gonna go with my like actual name, which is Chanel, because there was like no other rappers named Chanel. I think there was like Young Money, there was like a chick named Young Money, but
the one white chick, right?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Like if I go with that, people are gonna call me Chanel West Coast or whatever. So my homegirl that I recorded my first track with, she was like, well, what are you gonna go with? What's your name? You should probably have an MC name. And I was like, all right, well, I don't really know, but I was super obsessed with Quentin Tarantino and the Kill Bill movies at the time. Like, those are probably my favorite movies, like, of all time. I could watch them a million times. So Beatrix Kiddo is the main character in Kill Bill, and she's this really dope, like, female assassin, like, going after these fools because they took your child. And, like, dude, it's really insane. I don't know if you're familiar, but
yeah,
I was really obsessed, and I was like, yo, like, I want to be that, She's out there, like, slicing motherfuckers' heads off and, like, going, it's just crazy. And I'm like, I want to be that, but, like, as an MC, like, just a really strong, like, female character who's just out there, like, killing it, So I went with Kiddo. Shouts out to Beatrix Kiddo and Quentin Tarantino. I haven't told a lot of people that. There's only been a few people that are like, did you get it from there? And I'm like, yeah.
No, honestly, that would be, like, an insane music video on a track that you just, like, rip shit off on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can even reenact it, man. That thing would be crazy.
Yeah, and it's funny because people have asked me, like, why don't you, like, write a song, like, when you talk about her? Or, like, I don't hear you, like, writing bars about her. And I'm like, yeah, because I want to, and I kind of wanted to work that into it a bit and, like, maybe even use some inspiration from the movie. Because I'm super inspired by Quentin Tarantino. Like, I really wanted to kind of pay homage a little bit in, like, visuals now. But I was like, I don't want it to be too corny. Like, I don't want to, like, make it so obvious that that's where I got it and that's what I'm trying to play on it. But definitely had some ideas already where I'm like, oh, I can pay homage in this way or that way and kind of slip in some bars here about that stuff, which I have, and it's really dope. So, if you're on the lookout, I'm gonna definitely be using the inspiration.
No, absolutely, for sure. That'd be pretty crazy. Damn. So I mean, like, you have a favorite Tarantino movie?
Um, if it's not Kill Bill, I'm gonna say Volume 2 because I think Volume 2 is like my fave. It's Reservoir Dogs. That I don't know if you've seen that one.
When I was a little kid.
Yeah, it's super violent and super crazy, but I just remember I was like super faded when I first saw it, and I was like, "Wow, this is genius! Like I've never seen anything like this." Like it was just, even though it's like so gritty and so like violent and just crazy, it was just like just so artistic to me. You know what I mean? And that shit really just inspires me to like just go above and beyond and go out of the box with my own stuff. So Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill 1 and 2, but yeah, those are things.
It's actually really funny how you described that because, the same exact scenario, smoked, and then next thing you know, at this whatever I was watching was like the greatest thing ever. Ironically, it was actually Rick and Morty, above all things, and my dad, yeah, like my dad came and he was like, yo, I'll put this. Wait, shit, did we lose you?
For sure. So you were talking about Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay, yeah. So cool. Good thing you remembered. Shit. So yeah, Rick and Morty, exact scenario that you said. I came home after smoking, whatever. My dad's at the house and visiting. He's watching Rick and Morty. And he's like, "Yeah, have you watched this? It's pretty funny." And I'm stoned out of my mind, so I'm like, "All right, fine, let's check it out." And it was like so stupid but very fucking smart about the whole episode. And I'm like, you know what? This is so dumb that it makes sense. And then like I was like mind blown. I'm like, dude, this is like the best fucking show. Holy shit, this is crazy.
Yeah, because they throw a lot of like subliminals and like they're, it's pretty crazy, and especially if you're like dating, you're like realizing all these things. Like, damn, like that's what they're talking about. Like, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's why I'm like, hell yeah. It was a funny ass encounter that I had for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
I think I was talking about Reservoir Dogs, and that was the case. It was just like, dang, dude, like I was mind blown, like completely mind.
Yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel about those films. Shit. So, yeah. So, do we have any upcoming, releases anytime soon at all?
Yes, I was talking about the single that I have planned to release. I'm not gonna give an exact date yet because I do want to roll it out the right way. But sooner than soon, I'm gonna say sooner than a couple of weeks. So within the next, it's gonna be my first single that I've dropped since pretty much my first project. All of 2019, I was basically just working on collaborations with like everybody from EOTR and like all these different like projects that I was on, but haven't dropped anything that was like specifically Kiddo in a minute. So I'm like super excited. It is titled Off the Ground. It's produced by the homie Sid, representing Pack Music Group. Video also gonna be dropping that was shot by Mighty Muds. So I'm super excited for that. Definitely something different than I think a lot of people have heard from Kiddo. So pumped, very pumped.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hands down, I'm all for it. What's it called? Yeah, you said from like Pack Music and everything, right?
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Pack Music. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I fuck with I don't know. I don't think she's with them no more. But Aaliyah Zen was crazy with them.
Yeah, I did a cipher with her for the Cipher Effect. She was on all-female cipher, and she was on it. And I had met her a couple of years before that, which is crazy. That's how I kind of like got into Pack Music Group because I met her through the Cipher Effect, and it was just one of those things like, oh, you're a rapper, like I'm a rapper, and then the producers and everything. So we pretty much just like clicked over since then. And I see her every now and again. Me and the Brujas wanted to try to get her on some stuff too, so that might be happening in the future.
Yeah, that'll be fucking crazy. I didn't put two and two together until like right now.
Yeah, she's that whole vibe going on too, so it's like perfect, man. She's dope.
Yeah, man. I'm supposed to have her on the podcast soon, so we're gonna figure out like when that's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah, I'm waiting for her project too, because I know she's been on some stuff too, and I think it's been a minute for her that she's dropped the project too. So
yeah, it's definitely been a minute.
That I've been watching for a minute. I'm like, yes.
Cool, man. Well, what's it called? shit. Was there like any last minute things you would like to announce and stuff? Because this probably not gonna come out for like maybe another like couple weeks, just because I kind of spaced out the interviews and such. So.
Yeah, it'll probably be out around the time that single is gonna be dropping. Once again, that's Off the Ground. So if you are listening to this, either from the future or wherever, because that's where we're gonna go ahead and check that out. It's gonna be on the EOTR channel. So EOTR Network on YouTube and everywhere else, hopefully. So, and it's Kiddo EOTR on Spotify and Google Play, iTunes, all of that stuff. So, very, very pumped for that. But other than that, man, just trying to get through this quarantine and writing new music, trying to finish an album. So that's next for me. So yeah, that's stuff for me coming.
For sure, just like an intro, I don't have an outro either. But I go by Tony Awdball. This is an odd conversation with a very special guest.
Kiddo, yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Nah, don't worry about it, man. I'm just happy that we finally got this going. I pretty much like mentioned in every interview, like with someone in EOTR. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get Kiddo on this podcast, trying to get Kiddo for an interview, and all this. So it's pretty funny.
So because this is actually like my first interview or like anything since the quarantine, or probably even before that. Like I was just kind of on a little hiatus, like there's been a lot of life changes going on, so this is like the first time I've actually like been able to do something like this, and it feels really good. And I also appreciate your questions, because you don't ask the basic questions that a lot of interviews ask. So yeah, it's really dope, man. Having a good time.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to stray away from all that. I'm like, the radio can handle those questions, so that's why I just try to do like the very two simple ones, and then we'll get in depth.
Yeah, talk about some other stuff. Let's do it.
For sure. Well, I mean, I already talked to Max and everything, and what's it called? I'm gonna interview Viva on Tuesday, but when quarantine lifts up, I do want to work with something on like with everybody, like in person, for sure.
Yeah, maybe we could get the Brujas on too.
Oh, big time! We'll have like a Brujas podcast. That'd be dope.
Really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.